Well, welcome in.
Glad to
How
be
you
here. How you
how
doing,
you
guys?
guys doing?
Good.
All right. So Rocky, you know what
Yes,
we got to
sir.
do?
Yeah, we got to pour a little horns down.
Yeah, I got
We'll
this
have
one
to.
straight out of the freezer. I'm sorry, Joe. We'll get to you. We'll get to you, but I got this one straight out of the freezer. So,
Oh, that looks good, man.
oh yeah,
That looks real good.
Rocky.
I can do this for you, though.
There you
Yeah.
go. Hey, yeah, there we go. Yeah.
I almost wore my signature OU hat, but
Ah, ah. So tonight we are actually, I hope, not only on our YouTube channel but on my Twitter page. So shout out to all of you guys watching on Twitter. Hopefully, Dink, if you know Dink, you know Horns Down. So thank you, Dink. Everybody with fine Horns Down spirits. Tonight we got Mr. Joe Carneyman from. Where are you from, Joe?
I'm from Norman, Oklahoma, and I fish with the OKCKFCs.
Okay, why is it OKCKFC? Because every time I see those initials, I think OKC Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you want to be associated with Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Right.
No. Basically, because it's the Oklahoma City Kayak Fishing Club, so that's why it's OKCKFC. Yeah, that's just the way they set it up originally, and that's how we roll.
Little known fact: my very first tournament ever was OKCKFC at S1-E Twins.
I remember that, man. I remember us talking about it, and me introducing myself to you and seeing how you were doing because I noticed a new face amongst the crowd.
Yep. And honestly, we WOKA and OKCKFC, very similar personalities, very welcoming, awesome time.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, I would agree. Now, just so
yeah.
you guys know, my actual name is Joe Keys, but Carney Man is just kind of my nickname, so that's what my YouTube moniker is.
You know what? I said I knew that. I knew that. I knew that.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a little channel of Carney Man Fishing, so that's
All
kind of
right. Well,
kind of plays into it, but
we'll try to get your page posted. See, now it's all making sense. Because I know Joe Keys because I went fishing with him,
Yep.
but then I remember watching Carney Man fishing and about that. So let's get into a little bit of news here because that's how we like to start with some news. If you guys have ever watched Kayak Bass Nation, yeah, okay, we're using a little bit of that model. So
But they're gone.
Berkeley
now.
announced, and yeah, KBN's gone, but we'll try to carry on some traditions. The new Berkeley Max Scent. What do you guys think about that?
well, I love their power bait stuff for sure. I've won several tournaments on the power bait 7-inch ribbon tail, so I think it's pretty awesome.
And even some of just the regular max scents, and some places, excuse me, hard to find. So it's
Yeah.
going to be interesting.
I think the scent dispersion is probably the best I've seen because I grew up when everybody had their signature spray scent that you sprayed on. And they tried to say it did this, but did it really disperse like this? I mean, they say that stuff gets super slimy as soon as it hits water.
Oh, I
So,
bet. Yeah, it looks like it. I would definitely throw it. I know that because I know
well,
that just their like the generals. The generals are fantastic stick worms. I mean they seem to outfish a lot of things as far as like I think they even outfish Cincos in a lot of times. But no, I haven't seen this yet though, so this is interesting. So like
so the kid that won the Bassmaster Classic, apparently this is what he was throwing.
Dylan Nutt, and he was a college angler that came over, and he was throwing it and let the cat out of the bag about it. And so Berkeley just started throwing it out there a little sooner than they wanted to. because Nut had dropped a little bit too much information. So Berkeley just started throwing it out there, and here they go. So
Yeah.
I mean, better advertising.
Yep. There is no better advertising than winning the Bassmaster Classic. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Unless of course it was someone in the OKCKFC or WOKA event. I mean, and then that blows that whole Bassmaster Classic little thing out of the water.
Yeah. I wish I had the ability to be on the inside of some of these manufacturers and have them send me 5 different colors of stuff not released, and hey, go fish something with this and go win a big national event. That'd be nice.
Yeah, if you study Berkeley online and the amount of money they spend on scents and R&D on scent is incredible compared to anybody else.
Yeah.
So is it Berkeley that does a lot of the coffee scent on their lures?
No, I think that's Strike King.
Okay. Yeah, I can't throw those because when I open that package, I'm like, oh, no.
You're probably thinking about the Caffeine Shad by Strike King.
Yeah.
That KVD does or whatever, they're designed or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Kayak uses a lot of squid and shrimp scents. So.
Yeah, and there's I don't know. I mean, I'm a firm believer in the Berkeley power bait stuff. I know that. I just know that maybe it's a confidence thing, maybe it's a consistency of the plastics, but you open a pack of the Generals or you open a pack of the Power Worms or you open some Chigger Craws, you can definitely tell they've got something to them. They don't smell like that raw manufactured plastic that you get in some.
Yeah. Yeah, but sometimes that smells good too. But I know it doesn't smell good to the fish, but
well, I don't know. I mean, if you pick up a pack of Zoom trick worms, man, I mean, those things flat out catch fish and they smell just like plastic. I mean, they don't smell like
there's them old men from the 70s and 80s swear by WD-40.
Yeah, I've heard that as well.
Yep.
I've really heard that that's good for catfish, which makes perfect sense.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I don't use WD-40.
No, but you still catch a bunch of catfish.
And sadly, we're going to the lake that got me that reputation. We'll talk about that later.
Did you maybe once upon a time clean up some of your spinner bait, clean a little rust off with some WD-40 or something? That might explain the catfish, brother.
Mm-hmm.
No, the first 2 catfish I caught that day were on an underspin with a 4-inch paddle tail. And then I went to my spinner bait, caught a couple of crappie and another catfish. Yeah. And then went back to the first spot because there was grass. I was running a spinner bait across the top, caught another giant catfish, and I was like, all right, I'm done. But I won the trash fish side pot with a 24-inch blue cat that I didn't even bother to make sure the mouth was on the fence. I just threw it on there and it measured 24 inches. I was like, nobody's catching anything this long.
Yeah, that's not bad, man. I mean, if that's all you can catch that day, at least you get a little something out of it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
I know that. I just know that, our mutual friend, Tim Morris, Modog, he likes to always pick on you about catfish. So
Modog has a friend besides Dell?
Well,
he's in the chat.
I consider him a friend. I don't know if he considers me a friend, but
Oh yeah, he's a speaking up in chat. We love you, Modog. It's all good.
The reason being is, once upon a time I did get kicked out of the circle. I made it into the circle, and then I think it was the second time I've ever fished with WOKA. I was out of the circle.
So you, believe it or not, were there for my inaugural ride in my Jackson Gnar.
Yeah, I was. That was a fun day.
That day you came down here, and that was my first time putting the Gnar on the water. So
yeah, and that kayak is sick, man. I got to give it to you. I really like
it. Well, you guys thought it was fast that day. You need to come see it now.
You got some trolling motors on it?
I got an NK300 on the back.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Rocky told me I needed to trim down because I was pushing too much water. I was trying to get up on plane. I trimmed it down, and I'm adding 30 pounds of weight to the nose.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, when he first
by the way,
me and him first got out there at Gene, and we were kind of the last ones out. We had a long line and open the gate, and I had cranked on my motor and was taking off, and I looked over at him, and he's out of the water in the back an inch.
Oh, wow.
And he's hauling the mail. I'm like, dude, you got to get some weight forward.
Yeah, I was cranking out 6.5 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
And it was literally trying to get up on plane. I was plowing that hard. That's
funny. Yeah, you're going to need a dig on, what do they call those, a skiff or whatever? Yeah.
No, you see this sign right here?
Yeah.
That's an actual, you've probably seen this sign before.
I have.
Yeah, it was sitting at OKC Kayak. When they closed down, I called Dave and said, nobody gets this sign. What do you want for it? And he told me, and I said, done.
Nice. Yeah, in fact, I knew I recognized it. I just couldn't. Of course, there's probably more than one in the world, but, you know.
Well, it only went to dealers. Dealers were the only ones that had them. But when they closed down, it was like, I don't want anything in the store except this.
Yeah.
I got to have that. So if anybody knows of somebody that can fix neon signs, it does light up just like a quick flash. So I think there's some power issues somewhere back there. So if anybody knows in the comments of somebody that works on neon signs, I need a little bit of work done so I can light that thing up.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Joe.
There'll be some places.
Yeah, get into the meat, Joe. Tell us about your
Tell us about how. Yeah, let's get into the meat of this. Tell us about this wheel of scheduling that you guys. So you guys scheduled out dates. Yeah, you guys scheduled dates.
You want me to tell you about that?
Yeah, so everybody knows what date they're fishing, but they don't know where they're fishing. Talk to us about it.
All right, so every year, so there's 3 members of the board. I got to give my shouts out first. So Tom Hens is the president, which I'm sure, I don't know if you know him, Rocky, but I know Dell's met him.
I was actually at his house right before we went to Gene because he was getting some work done on his Hobie, and I needed some signatures from Mike from OKC Kayak. And so, yeah, I met him at his house. Yep.
Nice. Yeah, Tom's a great dude.
Yeah.
Shout outs to him. He's recently retired now, so I give him a hard time because since he's retired, I think he's gone more now, but last time I saw him, he'd only been fishing 3 times since he retired, and I was like, that ain't going to work, dude. I was like, you're retired. You have got to go fishing. That's the whole point of retirement. But anyway, he's the vice president of our club, and he's kind of he was with the club back when they had a different president, someone that put it together. So he's been there since the beginning. That dude since left the club, I think maybe after a year or 2, and Tom took it over doing it full time. And then Jonathan Noah Queen is our basically our Sasquatch of the club. You can't miss him. The dude's huge. He's like 6 foot. I don't know how much, but he's a great dude. He's the vice president. And then I've been fortunate enough to be invited to be a part of the board of directors. So I'm on the board of directors, basically. I think we may have a couple more. They'd have to jump in the comments or something to let you know. But I know that it's the 3 of us predominantly that run the tournaments. So every year we get since they made me part of the board of directors. In fact, the very first time they asked me if I would be part of the board of directors, they invited me out to dinner. We usually go in Bricktown or somewhere like that, kind of between all the places, because Tom's like in Newcastle, John's in Edmond, I'm in Norman. So we just kind of meet in Oklahoma City usually. And we were discussing lakes at that point in time, and they asked me if I wanted to be part of the board, and I said, yeah. So since that meeting, since they made me the board of directors, that meeting, we've gotten together every year for the past 3 years. And have planned out the season, have kind of cussed and discussed all the ins and outs of the season, goods, bads, uglies. Tom is like, he's been running tournaments so long now. He knows all the ins and outs of what you have to do what. He knows if you go to this lake, you got to pay this much amount of money, and this one we don't want to do because they've upped their fees about XYZ, and this one we got to give them 6 months notice. And I mean, he knows all the ins and outs of that stuff, right? So huge resource. We would not have the club that we have without Tom, for sure. And JQ, same thing. I mean, he's solid. He's been the right-hand man of Tom pretty much from the beginning as well. Not sure exactly when, but super, super fantastic angler. He's a multi-time angler of the year for the club, like multi. I think he's got 3 under his belt now.
Jeez.
One year he went back to back. I mean, guys, he has fished with the best of the best in the OKAs. I mean, he's got a history. I'm still learning the history because he's kind of tight-lipped about it, But
doesn't want to talk about all of his success.
Yeah, he's a humble guy. He doesn't want to even doesn't even care about any of that too. That's the other part of it. He just enjoys the fishing and the competition and stuff. And so anyway, back to the story. So we meet up once a year and we go over all the different things. We kind of talk about the good, the bad, the ugly of the previous season, what we've heard, feedback from the anglers. And I'm kind of that guy, I guess, because as you know, I have no problems meeting anybody. It comes from our military background, I guess. But, I always try to meet new anglers, and I try to talk to people that are in the tournaments, ask them those tough questions like, hey, what'd you think tonight? How do you guys like this lake? How'd you like the format this time? Did you like the shotgun start? Did you not like the shotgun start? I kind of get all that. I pull the audience, if you will, and get all that feedback from them. And then I bring that to that meeting, as well as I'm a data cruncher. I like data. So I've got a binder that I've kept since this time I've started in the OKCs. And so I've got a whole list of how many acres lakes are, how far they are from downtown Oklahoma City, mileage. I've got all this data. I've put together a map this year where I highlighted all the different lakes, and showed basically a radius of where we're at on that, so we could talk about, what makes sense for the club. We call ourselves, we are the Oklahoma City Kayak Fishing Club, but honestly, I think we're never going to change the name, don't get me wrong, but we can also be thought of as the Central Oklahoma Kayak Anglers, or if you will, because we kind of compass the center of the state, So, yeah. So going to this question that you asked me about how
yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Not from you, Modog. The only advice you have is I have half the lake, you guys get the other half. Stay out of my lane.
Yeah, he just got a penalty on his first fishing.
Yeah, I'm the guy that gives penalties. Thanks for reminding me, Rocky. He gets a 2-inch penalty, right? Yeah.
Oh, that was bad enough. I told him -6.
Oh, wow.
There you
go. Pull up, Modog. You're taking fire, buddy. Yeah. No. So anyway, so how we got to the Wheel of Fortune, or whatever you want to call it, the picker wheel, is Jonathan Noah Queen came up with. He was like, "Hey, man, I think it'd be cool if we found out a way to kind of like randomize our lakes." And I was like, "Nice." I was like, "What do you mean, man? What like
oh no,
one of our wheels or whatever?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, because you've been to the tournaments.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm back. Now we're back. All right. I'm not sure what just came off, but
are you on OEC Fiber? Are you on OEC Fiber? Because that was not a good advertisement. Not a good advertisement for him. Yeah, okay.
I don't think it was me. I don't know. Maybe it's just, it got a little controversial. It's trying to give me a break.
Maybe.
No, So you've been to our tournaments. You know that we give prizes away at the end of the night, and we use a random number generator of some sort, typically, because we've already listed.
We actually stole that idea from you. We've stolen that idea from you. We do the same thing.
No, it works perfect. I'm not sure that we even, we're the first people to do it. I just know that that's how we do it, and it works good. So whenever I've done it, I've used whatever this silly app is that I ended up downloading that does a wheel and spins it. So when he was talking about this, as he was talking, I just started typing in a couple names and, okay. And I spun it and said, "You want that?" And he's like, "Yeah." So we discussed the ins and outs of doing it this way, random draw. And here's kind of some of the reasonings behind it. One, we want everyone to be on the same playing field, right? So as much as, as tournament directors and everything, we don't abuse that information anyway. We keep ourselves to the same standard as everyone else. However, now no one gets to pre-fish a lake for months at a time and dial it in. You don't know which lake you're going to go to until a week prior. So the plan is to spin the wheel a week prior, make an announcement on our Facebook page, go live on that, announce the lake, and then you get from the time we announce the lake to 6 p.m. the night, 5 or 6 p.m. the night before, whatever we put in the captain's meeting, to do your pre-fishing. So that will eliminate any specific advantage any one angler can have, at least this year. Now, we know people know their lakes. We know people enjoy fishing certain ones, and they've got, it doesn't matter what you do, they got it dialed in. Can't really do anything about that. We all like to bass fish. So, and we want people to fish, but we do want to give it kind of a more fair feel to it by saying,
and he's all pissed off that he's pissed off that we don't have Letcher on the schedule till September.
Hold on a second. What? Yeah, I'm not. It's not time, is it? Oh. She's gonna need a key then, I guess, or unless I need to go do it. Okay.
Oh no, Joe.
I need to take a quick break.
Yep.
If you guys can bear with me, I will be back in about 10 minutes. I got a little honeydew that ended up falling right at the same time as this. So
I'll take you off the stage and just come right back in. And Rocky and I will take fire of why can't we do things the way OKCKFC does?
I promise I will be back to finish our discussion and get the ins and outs. But see, that's why you got to hang out. You got to stay with the podcast.
Heck yeah. All right.
All right, brother. Thank you, guys. I'll be back
in a little bit. All right.
A little bit, Joe.
All right. Well, you know what? It's time, because I have a feeling you and I now are about to oh man. And hopefully you guys didn't see the black cat jump across my screen.
Yeah, we did, but that's all right. Hey, part of the podcast.
I was trying to keep him away. Oh man, Joe's such a great guy. And
so he hits on a great point, Dale. Exactly what we kind of talked about is, do we do anything to like that in the future to curb pre-fishing, or we more in the West don't have as many lakes to pick from as they do, and we just let her continue to be. It is what it is, boys. So that's an interesting comment that it was about cutting the pre-fishing down to 1 week. So.
Yeah. I thought that was rather interesting, especially with the conversations you and I have had since Sunday on pre-fishing and how much we should allow, especially this week. So, and for those of you watching, yes, we were going to talk to Joe about decisions that tournament directors and board people have to make. So, yeah.
Yep. And I mean,
that's actually a great comment too. Creating the level playing field. And honestly, because I know you, me, Dan, we talked about that since November. I mean, we gave it 30 days from the championship before we decided, all right, let's start going into 26. But that's why we have, number one, so many events, and why our lakes are so diverse was that level playing field.
And that's one of the reasons we thought, for those who don't know, when we were picking the schedule, we're like, all right, can we continue to move out of the Southwest Oklahoma area a little bit to get a few more lakes that people haven't been to or just as far from one another, to say, all right, you're going to be the angler of the year. You got to fish the crazy spots as well as the spots, we're doing, we're playing with the team events, playing with the night events. I know we didn't make them points yet, but we keep trying to define that. And it's all about making a level playing field and making it where, my gosh, if you're the angler of the year, you pulled off some things at lakes that we don't go to, which kind of falls into heading to lakes east of I-35 for the tournament. It's like, where do we go that levels the tournament for the state championship? So,
yeah. And that's the funny part is we all camped at Murray for our first event and then drove across I-35 to Jean for our first event. So,
man, and Jean's fun. I'm looking forward to I'm looking forward to putting Jean back on later in the years, and we start trying it, different times. And man, but that was a fun one.
Yeah, and I totally agree with the Angry Outdoorsman. That was, I mean, so he mentioned Tom. As soon as we published our schedule, Tom reached out and he's like, "What are you doing going to Jean? Why are you stealing our schedule?" I'm like, "Because you went there. We see it as a valid lake, and it's west of I-35, barely by this much west of I-35." Yeah. But then they didn't even get to fish it because the Oklahoma City Military Bass Boat Club was holding the tournament there the same day. So they went over they go to Murray or Arbuckle, one of the two, but definitely a great lake.
Yeah. And I mean, I know it's always been called Western Oklahoma and stay west of I-35, but as we grow, we might have to move to Arbuckle or Murray or something like that a little more often, because we're going to be, we keep growing. We're going to be jamming a lot of people on little spots. Let me bring that up here real quick while we're waiting.
Hold on.
To return.
I got you. We'll just start here.
Yeah.
Here's our Tourney X page. And
there you go. I mean, we're looking at Paul Reed, Nash Kibler, which we all know Paul, but Schatz is back. Alfonso Hernandez, Brian Newton, Corey Burns, names we haven't heard about. So,
and Paul fishes with OKC.
Yeah, I was a little worried at the beginning of the year what we would have for newcomers and people, because a couple of the guys we fished with quite a bit, have decided to go to Texas and stuff. But it's like all the main core guys haven't even signed up yet, and we got a bunch of new folks. And then I know Danny, Big Fish Danny, I guess we can start calling him since he won the Big Fish. He reached out already wanting to know where we're at the night before, so I'm sure Big Fish Danny's name will show up on that list. So, but Nash Kibler, never heard of him. Paul Reed's coming, so that's cool. Brian Newton is out of Enid. He reached out to us, so hopefully he gets there. And then I don't know Alfonso at all, but some new names, pretty cool. And then a few guys said Corey Burns had fished with us before, so that'll be fun. So.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, little known fact, Mr. Paul Reed, I believe, I don't know. I don't want to say it's definitely the same guy, but if he is a mechanic for Mercedes,
I believe he is.
He has. Okay, so there,
got that English accent.
Yep.
He was on the podium with me and Dan at American Horse, and then I think he was. I think I was looking at Paul's page the other night. I think he did a team event somewhere with somebody just the other day, and was showing some nice pictures. So, looking forward to Paul fishing with us.
Yeah. But so there's I can't remember the name. Starts with an H. But there's a family that has a Mercedes Sprinter van that they've got a YouTube channel, and their daughter was on the Jackson Whitewater team. But the family will take their Mercedes van I think they went all the way down to the tip of South America. They drove it from Oklahoma all the way across South America.
There was a couple couple folks with Sprinter vans with kayaks at Lake Fork for the No Native last year.
Yeah. So yeah, I got to talk to him. I think it was at our Duncan event a year or two ago, and he told me that he services their van. So yeah, I'm excited that we've already got 11 people signed up. It's Wednesday. Last event on Wednesday we had like 5.
Yeah,
we've already doubled that.
Yeah, so, when we were down at Murray and didn't have a whole bunch of names yet, and I was like, oh man! And then we roll into Gene that next morning, and the gates packed full. I'm like, oh, so
I know. And I brought up Tourney X, and I'm like, 20? Where did this happen? Yeah. So yeah, go ahead, sign up on Tourney X, and
then I saw we had a critter on here a little bit ago, Ban Fishing Okie. I don't know who that is, but he just signed up and registered. I don't know who Ban Fishing Okie is, but
so you got to start little shout out. I can't believe I'm going to say this. You got to start showing up to Modogs Lives on Thursday night, because then you'll know who Ban Fishing is, because Modog will play you videos from his channel.
Okay, I hit a couple of his deals.
Yeah,
the last couple we've been in Oklahoma City and Piedmont for the kids' ball games, but yeah.
Yeah, I know, and he's going to be really pissed now that I gave him the shout out. I'm probably mowing the yard tomorrow night, so I might miss his live.
We don't have to mow up here yet, so maybe that's why Canton.
Well, I notice I said I'm mowing the yard, not the grass.
Yeah,
I don't have grass yet. I got weeds. So come on, man, we got 15 people watching, according to this, and we need some questions, people. And oh, by the way, yes, we are actually also on Twitter tonight.
Yeah.
On my channel on Twitter. If enough people start showing interest on the Twitter side, who knows? Maybe we'll start a WOKA Twitter.
I will say, just bringing up a few things while Joe is out. Never been to Lake Fort Cobb. Never paid attention when I got home that night after we made the decision and made the announcement. I threw up the old Google Earth. Man, that thing looks fishy, all them coves and stuff. I'm surprised people are like, oh, man, that's a tough place. I'm like, man, this looks fishy. I mean, that was my concern with Canton not having very many coves. This place is coved up, so hopefully we have a good time.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of fish places, but all they hold is catfish for me. So go figure. Hold on. I know I posted a bunch of photos the other night. Give me a minute. Keep talking, and I'll try to find some of those photos for you guys of all my catfish. Yeah. They were ridiculous.
So while he's looking at the photos and stuff, the Friday night Horns Down event, Sunset Cove, 5 CO 12 and 13. Me and Curtis will be there. Curtis is bringing his Weber. We'll be cooking out the hamburgers and hot dogs and chips and stuff. So come on over and eat with us, free of course. We'll be sampling Horns Down apple pie, which we will get on ice as soon as we can and get it as cold as possible, and then some vodkas. So bring your favorite mixer. We're not looking to get trashed out there. We're looking to enjoy a sip and shoot it with you all and have some fellowship and see if anybody caught any catfish or anything like that that's non-bass.
Yeah, catfish.
We are
loves
blessed.
catfish?
We're blessed this time, unlike last time where we got the time change. So we're going to be able to have a little sun until 8:15 versus last time we did our cookout and it got dark on us before I even got the burgers going. So.
Yeah. And Curtis, if you're watching, I need to know that you're going to be the one to pick it up because I got to respond to Dave at Woodworks Distillery with a name, and you're the name that I told him. So
yeah, good. Modog, I do see your note. I do see your comment about pre-fishing. We will definitely be talking about that as we go through the year. Having visits where there were sore lipping fish the day before and we want to do something, or we just let it be like it is. We'll talk more with Joe. And we'll visit with everybody who fishes with us throughout the year on their comments on. And Joe, it is, man. Joe, it is. Look at there.
Oh, there you go.
Sorry for the quick break, but I want to show you this, Dale. Check this out, dude.
Oh, my screen's Woodford Reserve. Oh, see, now you're going to make me go grab my bottle of Jack Daniels from the 101st.
Yeah,
you
so
got
it's got a Chinook helicopter on it because you know I'm a Chinook guy. So I'll get this
Well,
poured up over.
All right.
We'll be ready to go.
Come on, Rocky. We got to join them.
I can do it.
I'm going to only pour
a bucket of vodka here.
I'm only going to pour a half of one because I've already had.
My wife's going to get mad that I'm drinking all this stuff. I'm going to have to ask Dink to make another handle of the premix.
Cheers, fellas.
Cheers, guys.
Welcome back, Joe.
Thanks.
It's still cold. Look at this bottle. Isn't this bottle beautiful? Look at the frost on that. That's why I put it in the freezer.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that. I see where you're coming from on that deal.
Yes.
Well, see, you got to come out and fish with us and taste it when it's frosty cold.
Heck yeah, brother. I'm in. Like, okay, so all seriousness, I fished with OKAs. I've done online tournaments. I've done some national online tournaments. I've fished with WOKA with you guys, right? And my two favorite clubs are our club, Oklahoma City Kayak Fishing Club, and WOKA. And nothing against OKAs and all those things, but those guys are serious, right? Those guys are serious. And nothing against them. They're freaking fantastic anglers, but if you want to know what it feels like to be in the big leagues, that's the big leagues. And I think they do a great job of hosting mega events, it's everything you would think of. You want to be at the championship level or the state level of our state, right? Okay, is the big leagues. However, it doesn't take anything away from WOKA. It doesn't take anything away from OKCKFC. It doesn't take anything away from, the River Outfitters up in Tulsa or the Tulsa Bassathon guys or SOCA. All tournament trails are really fun, really good. I would actually probably do a lot of SOCA because it's just they're so far away from where I'm at. So
yeah.
But
and that's the great thing about Oklahoma is regardless of where you live, you can at least fish one event per month. Within an hour, 2 hours of your house? Absolutely. And then if you want to branch out to the WOKA, the OKC, the SOCA, the OKA, good Lord, you know what we quit doing was trying to coordinate schedules. Because there are so many great organizations that you just literally you could fish every weekend of the month from March to October.
Yeah, when you guys first stood up, we did do some collaborating with y'all to try to both schedule events together on certain lakes at the same time, which is still very possible. That's probably the best way to do it, actually. But the second thing is we try to deconflict our schedule. And, I kind of finally broke through a little bit with my guys because we do really support the OKA as far as like we want to make sure that to ensure that we have plenty of participation in our events. It helps us if we conflict with OKA, right? Because we have a lot of folks that fish both. So if they're given the choice between one or the other, they're going to probably fish the OKA.
Right.
So that's traditionally what we've done is deconflict. But I finally talked them into like, hey, man, we just have to make our schedule. And if it deconflicts, it deconflicts. There's a lot of folks in our club that don't ever fish the OKAs. So if we want to have a tournament the same day as them, let's have a tournament the same day as them. If you can make it, you make it. If you don't, you don't. If nobody shows up, we cancel it. No big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But we've kind of had to come to terms with that. So I think we're kind of in the middle on that right now. We look at the OKA schedule. We do try to deconflict where we can. But if we see an opportunity to have a tournament and it falls on the same time as yours, then we're not afraid to pull the trigger on having a tournament on our own the same day. But yeah, now like you guys though, see, I've fished the Duncan Roadrunner with you guys.
Yep, that's been traditionally our opening event.
Yeah,
until this year.
Okay, so I really like that format. Of course, the Duncan Lakes. There's the 4 lakes there.
I think that there were 3 that were in that Fuquay, whatever, and Clear Creek and Humphreys.
Yeah,
I've only fished Humphreys, so
I fished Humphreys as well, and was that the one that? No, that wasn't the tournament where I got that last minute catch, was it?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
Now,
Well,
Spill the beans.
very first.
okay, so
Bring those les beans.
I remember this now. I remember this. So it was 2 years ago, and my spot was out of the water. And so I went back up north, and it was actually a better day than it was a year ago. And I found Modog, and we all just started kind of floating and hanging out, and we'd gotten skunked and started working our way back to the ramp. This guy, that guy was
that
guy. That guy. Stops at the dock. If you've been to Humphreys, there's a dock right by the ramp, right? I've got my kayak out of the water. And all of a sudden, I hear him 100 feet away. Oh my God, I did it. And I looked at my watch, and there were 2 minutes left.
Yep.
2 fishing minutes. 2 minutes, the line's out. And he boats his first fish of the day. Modog's already up the ramp wondering what's taking me so long.
Yeah. And
this guy catches the fish with 2 minutes to go.
And that, Rocky, is why I was kicked out of the circle, because we were talking about being part of the circle the whole day, about how we were the circle of zero, right? We were the zero guy, and we were all in, and we honestly, I even felt like that's how it was going to finish that day. And because let's see, you went by there, Dell. So you went by there, fished that dock. Modog went by that dock. There was probably 4 or 5 other anglers that went by there and fished that dock.
Everybody, before they went to the ramp, fished at that dock. And
then I don't know, man. I guess maybe I just hit it at the right time, or had the right bait, or just luck, really. But it was a 19 and a quarter or 19 and a half. I can't remember. It was a big fish too.
Yeah, Modog's over here saying 10 minutes to go, and the dude catches a 3-pound bass.
Yeah, it was 2 minutes, man.
And I'm sure Modog's going to say that was his spot.
No, because we didn't fish that spot all day.
Okay.
Right. I kind of want to say, well, dude, this is how bad it was, Rocky. At one point, all 3 of us were like, screw this, man. We're tying on glide baits. None of us had ever really fished glide baits before. We're all tying on glide baits because everything we threw, we couldn't catch it. We were literally fishing exact spots, doing the exact right thing. And you'll have to help me, Dell, on the dude's name, but this guy rolls by and fishes right where we were just fishing and pulls up 2 fish right in a row on a shaky head.
You said it. Shaky head. That was Sean Van Noy.
Yeah, it was Sean. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Sean Van Noy. Sean Van Noy cruises past us going the different direction than we were going. Fishes the exact same stumps that we all threw at. and pulls up 2 fish right in front of us, man. You talk about Modog being mad.
Well, at least you're not. So you know what we've done to Sean since then? We shipped him off to New Mexico.
Oh, did you?
So if you really piss us off, hey, Sean, if you're listening, watching, we love you. Come on back. But he left for a better job, less stressful job. So he's enjoying the New Mexico life. But
I've heard New Mexico's got some pretty good kayak trails too.
He just fished his first event.
Yeah,
did top 10. So he's
nice. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
not a way to show him. So
jump back real quick, Joe. You spin the wheel to try to reduce pre-fishing. We kind of stopped there. Modog had made a comment about not wanting to pre-fish the day before. You guys put a lot of thought into pre-fishing, whether we should or shouldn't do it as anglers, or was it just trying to cut down on the month-long beatings? Or tell us a little bit more about that one part of it, because that's a hot topic.
So I proposed to the guys that once we picked the lake, that we would shut the lake down until tournament day. I got outvoted for good reason from John and Tom, right? They both said, well, I mean, and then I was like, well, yeah, you're retired, Tom. It's kind of messed up if I say no pre-fishing now that you have all the time in the world to pre-fish, Tom, so we just kind of came back off of that to kind of look at how the season goes. We're going to allow a week worth of pre-fishing. Traditionally, our answer has always been pre-fishing ends the night before 6 p.m. I think we probably have maybe like a third of the people that go out and pre-fish. In all honesty, like not everybody gets the chance to pre-fish anyway. Our weeknight tournaments are jackpots. So, there's what we call them, is where you just, they count for Angler of the Year points, but they're 3-hour tournaments, typically 3 to 4 hour tournaments. So we kind of came up with the idea, like last year, one of the things we implemented that was new as tournament directors and the management of the tournament trails, we wanted to make sure that no one knew the identifiers, not even ourselves. So the first 4 anglers that showed up at the ramp, we would ask each one of them, okay, you give me a letter, you give me a number, you give me a letter, you give me a number. And that was the ID for the day, right? We did that because ultimately we wanted to make sure that everybody had full confidence in their leadership, that there was, we don't obviously, but we wanted to just take that doubt away from anyone. Like nobody knows the identifier until the day of the tournament, literally.
We made that move this year too for the same reason. So I get you there.
And it's super random. So going with, I think maybe that was partly stuck in our brain, was a little bit of the randomization and the thought of how do we make this essentially foolproof from any skepticism. You guys have seen recently the couple headlines of tournament cheaters again, and all that's. So it's like, I don't have any issues with anybody I don't suspect anyone ever. I've never had any inclination of anybody doing anything untoward, but we do get a lot of new English from time to time. So we just want to make sure we make it as equitable and fair as possible for everyone involved. Jonathan Noah Queen's a very good fisherman. So like I said, he's won 3 Angler of the Year over the years, and he's won a lot of tournaments. So, he wanted to make sure that people can continue to trust and know that there's nothing going on there either. He wanted to take that away before anybody even mentioned, well, of course the club director, vice president of the club, and where the lakes are and all that, well, no, we don't. So we know the lakes that are scheduled, but we don't know when they're going to pop up on the tournament trail.
So is that partly why you guys went to the wheel this year to add into that of Jonathan or whoever the Angler of the Year? They don't know exactly where they're fishing. So
sure,
if you really want to win a tournament, you got to know all the lakes. Well,
you either got to know all the lakes or you just have to, I think more or less, you have to be confident in your your type of fishing and what you like to do. I mean, bass fishing's bass fishing's bass fishing. I mean, when the bass are pre-spawn, when they're spawn, when they're, doing their summer stuff, when they're going deep, those kind of seasonal patterns for bass and behaviors are pretty much unanimous across the entire United States. You just have to look at your current local temperatures and stuff and be able to tell from there, right? So, I mean, and honestly, like Oklahoma bass fishermen specifically, and I would even argue Oklahoma kayak fishermen are just very good fishermen.
I discovered that the hard way.
Yeah, like, I mean, the bottom line is, like, I'm thankful to be counted amongst them, but I by no means think I'm the world's greatest bass fisherman that ever sliced bread, but we have a lot of good anglers. And when you compete, you got to bring your A game, because these folks know what they're doing. You know what I mean? But that also adds a little element of this, because our tournament is, our tournament fees are low, intentionally so.
Yeah.
Like, our weeknights are $22. They've been $22 for as long as I've been doing it, and I've been doing it now for about 5 or 6 years. And it was that way before. So our tournament fees are low on purpose. Nobody's getting rich off of a tournament coming out to the OKCKFCs. But you can make some pocket change, and you can have some fun, and you can have some good camaraderie and scratch that itch of competitiveness, right?
Right.
I mean, especially a lot of us, we grew up playing baseball and football and different sports that were competitive, or different things that were competitive. So some of us miss that competition,
And the other thing that I learned, even my first year in WOKA, is you can get out there and you learn as much as just being competitive around everybody. You learn so many different new things. And that you mentioned on kayak anglers being some of the best in the state here in Oklahoma, which is absolutely true.
Yeah.
But us smaller clubs, you know what you get to do? You get to pick their brain. You get to follow people and catch their fish, Rocky. You get to see how they're fishing and learn from them. And they're nice about it. They're like, yeah, I'll show you exactly how I throw this chatterbait, Modog. Or a shaky head, Sean. They will literally show you exactly how they're catching the fish, so you get to learn as well. And so my first year, I was like, I went out with another friend that didn't fish competitively, and I smoked him. I'm like, where did this come from? Oh, it's from being out on the water and learning all the different things to look for on the water from everybody else I've been fishing with.
Yeah, for sure. Because like that's one of the things we do in our club as well. And I think you guys do it as well, which is a post-tournament wrap-up kind of, summary of how things went. We talked to yeah.
Exactly.
True. That's true. He's right. You talk to, where was I going with that? Anyway, I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
No worries. I'm just, what I was saying is,
post-tournament wrap-up, you talk about
yeah.
what you use.
We summarize kind of the event, and then we always ask the people that place in the money. We always ask them for a narrative of what they were doing that day, and they're more than I've never had anybody not share. Maybe they don't share the exact bait, but they're throwing a jig. They'll tell you they're throwing a jig. If they're throwing a spinner bait, they're throwing a spinner bait. They're doing whatever. And, and a lot of them, like myself included, I'll tell you down to the detail. Here's where I caught it. Here's what I was doing.
Yeah.
Just because that's what attracted me to staying in this kind of competitive environment was the camaraderie that we have with the other anglers and the knowledge that gets shared that makes us all better fishermen, so that's one of the things that we were doing for sure. I like to keep it at that level. They like to keep it at that level as well, because if you're a new angler you got a kayak and you've been fishing off a kayak for fun and you've been kind of, it happens to all of us. At some point you're on YouTube and you start watching these tournament videos and you're like, man, I could do that. I could catch that. I could compete, I could do that. I could, right? Well, our club for sure is a very good, it's not just a starter club, but it's a very good club to start out in because it's not going to cost you an arm and leg to do it. We don't charge any membership fees. And you can come out and compete as a new kayak tournament fisherman, right? And feel pretty comfortable. Yeah, you may not do well. We can't control that, but
right.
We can make sure that you're welcomed into the club. We can make sure that you know people and that you're, and I kind of go out of my way to make sure I'm a good welcome wagon for that. Because I want to make sure that anybody that shows up to the tournament has a good time, understands that we're glad that they're there, understands that we want them to be successful. We hope they win,
Didn't you have an angler of the year a few years ago that was fishing out of a 10-foot Bass Pro Shop kayak, him and his son, and they smoked you guys all year long. No trailer,
yes,
no electronics. Those guys knew how to fish.
Yeah.
That was the thing. You talked about being a bass fisherman and knowing the seasons, and they smoked you guys all year long.
Yeah.
Not in the $5,000-$10,000 kayaks. They just had something that floated on the water and smoked you guys.
Yeah, no, that's facts, man. Like they're, people are good anglers. And they just kind of know what they're doing. They know that the thing about that particular guy, his name's CW, Charles Damron, right? He's a 2-time back-to-back angler of the year for us. Okay. He beat me the first time he won it by 1 point. It made it all the way down to the championship. A half an inch and 1 point is what he beat me by. The second year, I want to say it was a pretty close. It was close on that one too. It was just a few points or something. But he won it back to back, and he does not have a trolling motor. He has no electronics. He carries an old school tackle box in his kayak. He puts it in the front. He doesn't have a crate. He doesn't have, he lays his rods in there. I think he did upgrade a little bit to maybe a little bit a roto-mold paddled kayak now, but he still paddles. And he will flat out humble you, dude, because he's that good. But
going back to you don't have to spend a lot of money to enjoy kayak fishing.
No,
in fact, we debated all winter for raising our fees. Yeah. We really didn't want to, but we wanted to keep the payouts and as well as try to make it more fair.
Sure. Yeah, of course. And we're not our club, we have raised our Saturday tournaments a little bit. So we've gone from, I believe it's $32 to $42 for a Saturday tournament, but that's an 8-hour event. And we have this particular year, we have 4 of them scheduled for Saturdays. So the majority of our events are still weeknight events.
We hopped up.
And honestly, that's why I haven't fished more with you guys, because
it's tough.
I think it was last year I wanted to compete for Angler of the Year because I wanted to drive to the city. But to compete for Angler of the Year, you got to fish more than 4 Saturdays. You got to fish, 7 or 9 events or something like that, which meant I had to drive up there.
And that's interesting to bring that up because that's one of the points that we debate a lot as the directors. Like, how many tournaments do we want to make them do in order to qualify for the championship? How many tournaments do we want them to do to compete for Angler of the Year? And we've kind of settled on around that 6 to 7 number for events to be in consideration of the Angler of the Year. And we've now this year we're doing 4 tournaments. If you do 4 tournaments, you qualify for the championship.
Okay.
So make sure your guys.
How many total events do you have?
You would ask me that.
Sorry, because you mentioned those numbers, and for us, I think we've got 11 AOI events or 9 AOI events, somewhere in there.
11 total, I believe. Besides
11 total, 9 AOI, and for our championship, you got to fish, I think, 5 to fish our championship, just over half.
Yeah, and that's kind of where we landed, was just over half. All right.
To fish our championship.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 counting the championship. So 12 regular season and 13 with the championship. And that's we range somewhere between 12 and 16 tournaments a year. Now that's not counting the I-44 duel, which we do as well. So I guess we have 14 tournaments technically.
So a little bit about that. We I don't know how long Dale wants to run tonight, but we had a little conversation with Joe before we came online, shooting the bull there, and we might even talk to OKCF about a WOKA OKC duel next year.
Challenge, yeah.
I would love that, man.
You know what? Come down here to
I don't know if Dale and Joe, I don't know if Dale and Joe are on, but there's also a Facebook group that we've started where we're trying to put together a state championship again this year.
Joe is in that.
Okay, I've been kind of tracking that, and I was interested. I was going to actually ask you guys about that.
Yeah, we need to get that. We need to get Noah and get that going.
Yeah, give Tom a call and say we're in. We just need a little more. Maybe he needs to give another nudge, because I know he started that chat group, and everybody said they were in, but it kind of died the same day. So we're in.
Yeah, I think maybe like you guys did, you needed to regroup, go back to the club, and discuss it amongst yourselves to see if it's something worth doing or not. And I'm all about it. I love it. You know what I mean? I don't want it to be a $200 tournament, if I'm being honest.
No.
But,
So I did fish my first year. OKA did a state championship down at Broken Bow.
Yeah.
And I somehow it rolled down to me from WOKA that I was eligible to go, because there were so many people fishing multiple series that it rolled down to me at like number 8. And so I went, and it was a great time.
I went my first year of kayak fishing. I went nuts. You know how it is sometimes us Army guys, we go all in, right?
Yeah.
I was fishing 4 tournaments a month. Like I was doing 1 to 2 online events. They were simultaneous, but I was doing a couple online events at the same time. I was fishing. I started fishing OKAs, and I was fishing OKCKFC, and I was having a blast. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot. It ended up being a lot of time, but I had a blast. But I ended up qualifying for probably the same way, roll down method, but I ended up getting the invite to the state championship. That year it was at 10 killer, and I'd never fished 10 killer before. And I love 10. Now I love 10 killer, but
I love 10 killer.
I'd never fished 10 killer before. So I was like, you know what, I'm going. And a buddy of mine, Jose Saldana, I don't know if you guys know him or not, but he's the guy that he's in the Army Guard was in the Guard. He's retired now, but he was the one that told me, dude, you like to bass fish and you have a kayak, you need to fish with us. And that's where it started with OKCKFC. He invited me to come out, and I did. Little did I know how well I did my first tournament. It was on Guthrie Liberty. It was on Guthrie Liberty. Yeah, beginner's luck. I came in 4th place, so just out of the money, but I was like, man, and I was like being hard on myself because all I caught was 3 fish that night, because it was a 3 fish limit, and all I caught was 3 fish. And then they're all patting me on the back. Dude, you did great, man. That's all. 4th place. That's all. And I was like, really? But then now that I've fished, yes, I know 4th place is a very good, very respectable finish.
So hold on. You mentioned 4th place in your first tournament, right?
Yeah.
You are not going to believe what today is. Come on.
Is it the anniversary
of
when you went and fished?
It is the anniversary of. Why is this not? It's not popping up for me. I'm having trouble with StreamYard right now. Oh, there it is. Okay, so today's memory for me, March 25th, 2023. Okay, this is when I met Modog on top of all that. So Scott Zimmerman gave me a ride to the first WOKA tournament out at Duncan, and I finished 4th out of 23 anglers, and I missed 3rd place by 2 inches to Chris Bloomfield.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nothing to be ashamed of there. That dude's a hammer.
He is.
Yeah. So Justin Brucker, I don't remember who was second, but Chris Bloomfield beat me by 2 inches that day. That was my 2nd ever tournament. And I'm like, wow, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
I don't think I caught another bag for another 4 months, but
it does feel good to have some success, obviously. But, I try to make going with that, talking about new anglers and stuff, because, a lot of times if it's your first tournament, a lot of times we have people that they've recently purchased their kayaks, so they're not very experienced on the kayak to begin with. Now, me, when I jumped into it, I'd already been kayak fishing for like 4 years, so I had some pretty good experience bass fishing from a kayak. So that part wasn't like this new thing to me. The only thing that was new to me was timelines and check-ins and, that kind of stuff, right? Measuring the fish and those kind of things. That was all new to me. But being able to fish from a kayak was not new to me. But we'll get these people that, sometimes they I don't know if they're, brand spanking new to it or what, but that's what I love about Oklahoma kayak fishing in general. And then the Oklahoma City KFC as well, because we have a lot of metro folks, because we have a lot of metro lakes that we go to. So we'll get a lot of new folks to show up because they hear about it and it's 5 minutes from their house or what have you, and they'll show up and fish. And I try to make it a very big point to welcome those folks in and let them know, even if they zero, which they usually do, but even if they zero, it's like, hey, that was great, man. How'd you feel, And they'll come, how it is. You come out, you're frustrated, all of us have blank. Don't worry about it. It's going to happen. If it didn't happen now, it's going to happen at some point. It's just fishing, dude. And we want you to come back and keep after it, man, because, you're going to get it. You're going to get it down. And we've had people come, and become regulars based on that kind of stuff. I met a guy I was up in Wasso because I drill up there from National Guard, and he had fished in the OKAs they had at Skiatook Lake. And we were staying in the same hotel, and I saw a kayak in the back of a pickup, and I was parked right next to it. And I had my kayak on my trailer behind my truck, and they were sitting there. I was like, hey, how's it going? Long story short, I talked to this guy, and he just competed with the OKAs. I invited him out for the OKCKFCs. He came out and fished once or twice with us. I mean, it's a great community, even when, like getting to meet people is fun, and get to meet like-minded people, that enjoy the sport, enjoy kayaking. I mean, how can you not enjoy it when you're out on a lake, even if you're not catching nothing, But yeah, it's fun, and that's one of the things that I strive to is try to do. I kind of consider myself the club recruiter, if you will. I try to recruit new anglers and try to make sure to broadcast our information out there as much as I can, so that people can have the opportunity to come out and try their luck and see how they do against the best of the best. I mean, you guys have probably heard of this guy, Tuvu.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Didn't he come in 3rd at Bassmaster at Broken Bow a couple of years ago?
I know he came
or a Hobie?
in. He was at a Hobie event. He came in 5th place, but it was in Georgia or Alabama. It was on Gunnersville, I think, like a world famous, world class fishery, and he came in 5th place. So there's like, those are the kind of guys that are in our state, man.
Oh,
Michael
yeah.
Baldwin.
Yeah.
Big Mike. I was thinking of Big Mike. Jason Ray.
Yep.
I mean, look,
Jason Ray, Jason Christie, not Jason Christie. Maybe it is Jason Christie. I mean, Modog freaking wipes the floors with people quite a bit, Chris Bloomfield, Justin Bruckner. I mean, golly, dude.
Yeah.
And you guys, I mean, the list goes on and on, man, about how good of fishermen we have in this state. In fact, there's a guy that fishes with us occasionally who is actually the Oklahoma University Bass Club fishing coach. Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Nice.
Let me think for a minute. I'll have to think of his name because trying to think of a name, you can't think of a name, right?
I need to get with this guy because I've got a few contacts now. So
yeah, no, I mean, I'm telling you,
I thought you want to take lessons.
well, that too. Well, my wife is a student at OU right now, so hey, maybe.
There you go, dude. She needs to join the fishing club. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, no.
Golly, what is his name? If I wasn't trying to think of it, I'd be able to think of it. But I'll keep scrolling. If I come up with his name, I'll let you guys know. But
who's he the coach of?
Oklahoma University. He's one of the coaches for the fishing club. Hold on, man. I'll find it.
Well, while you're looking, we've gone. This has been great. A lot longer than I expected, even with your little 10-minute honeydew. So there is another question. There is another question that Rocky and I want to ask you, and I'm sure all of our great WOKA members. I say members. There's no membership fee, right?
Right.
They want to know, buddies, how do you guys as a board feel about second guessing your decisions? When you guys make a decision and you're like, was that the right decision? And you start getting feedback that makes you question it. What do you guys discuss as a board of moving forward and preventing those type situations?
Well, that's a great question because we have had some this is why I don't like doing tournaments without Tom, because Tom is the voice of reason for one. He's also the standard, like what Tom says goes, because he knows the rules like the back of his hand because he wrote them, and if there's anything in question or if we're kind of disagreeing on something, we let him, he can be the tiebreaker, and then that's the final word. So we kind of put a lot of stock in the president's vote, right? That's one thing that we do to kind of help with that. Second thing we do is we have 3 people. So that obviously helps break a tie or breaks, you don't have a 2-person deal where there's no mediation, right? So we have 3 people, and we've often used like Big Mike. I mean, you guys know his rep. He's president of OKA. So we have that that resource. Sometimes we'll ask him while he's at the event, hey man, what do you think about this? This is what I think. This is what Jonathan thinks. What do you think? We'll do stuff like that. We review our tournament results. We try to be very meticulous and not make mistakes. But last year, I know for a fact that a tournament we hosted that Tom couldn't be at, that me and Jonathan were responsible for, somehow the math didn't math, and we screwed up the payouts. So we shorted the anglers by $20 a piece, and I don't know how we did that, but we did. And Tom caught it when he was reviewing the tournament notes and all that. And he's like, wait a minute, you guys owe these guys, So he reached out to him. We made it right, paid him the extra money and all that stuff. But that was one thing that we do. But when it comes to like problems of, I guess the subjective parts, right, are kind of like penalties, no penalties, right? Is that mouth too open? Is it not open enough, or is it open too much? Is it, is the picture too blurry? You got me?
Yeah, you buffered a little bit, but you're still with us.
I was wondering if it was me, because I was told that I was buffering.
I watched you buffered. You buffered when Joe.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
You both had buffered a little bit.
Okay, so what I was talking about was the subjectiveness of some of the things, right? So the rules are pretty much standard. I think your guys' rules are exactly like our rules. I don't know. I didn't notice any differences when I fished with you guys in the past. I didn't see anything that was different than anything. We use the KBF as our standard rules, and that's kind of what we go by. We are instituting this year a little different. Tom really, really, really doesn't like people touching the tail of the fish. So he wants their hand in the middle of the fish this year. So he's not going to, because we've had we've had a little bit of discussion about that in the past, right? Is this person covering up too much of the caudal fin, or are they, so he is taking, that's his pet peeve. So we've all agreed that this year your hand will be in the middle or not on the fish at all, when it comes to photos. So we'll make that announcement. And that's one of the things that we compromise and discuss. Me and Jonathan didn't have a problem, but he's so adamant about it. We're like, it's not cool. It's not that hard. Yeah. We can just make sure they put their hand in the middle of the fish and we're good.
We had the exact same discussions all winter long. So in fact, I even reached out to Tom, I think in January, said, hey, I need a copy of your rules. Number one, so people across the state, as we're jumping different organizations, not necessarily a standard, but if we're all close in our rules, like you can't have your hand over the tail.
Yeah.
You've got to keep it in the body of the fish.
Yeah.
If we're all in agreement on that, then you don't have to worry about, this organization, I can pinch the tail. That organization, if I do it, I'm getting penalized and DQ'd. If we can try to stay standardized. So
yeah,
I don't know where Rocky ran off to.
I think that's something we're definitely going to adopt this year, because we had some fish that people kind of questioned last year from a couple of tournaments. And they kind of complained about the pictures and so on and so forth. We stuck to our guns. If we accepted the photo, we accepted the photo. But we did discuss it as a group, as a team, and decide, to avoid any of that issue. Totally right, man. Like, put the hand in the middle of the fish or not on at all, and make sure that everything else is standardized. You don't cover the fins or don't cover the gills. You don't cover the eyes, mouth got to be closed, touching the fence, all the standard stuff. Right. I don't care if they, like, in some clubs nationwide, because I did the same kind of thing when I was getting into this. I wanted to be educated. So I went and looked at all kinds of rules and regs from all kinds of clubs across the nation. Some clubs, the way the tail lays is the way you measure it. A lot of clubs, they don't care if you pinch the tail, and make it like that.
Yeah.
But there are some clubs out there that you can't mess with that fin at all. Right? It's crazy. Like, people get really deep in the weeds. I don't think it's that extreme. I don't think there's a problem with them pinching the tail to get the most length. Because I think it's the same thing as like moving the fish around the board till it touches the best length. That's smart tournament fishing. I've gotten an extra quarter inch sometimes by doing that.
If it's close to the line, you got to get it.
Yeah, you got to at least try. Sometimes it doesn't work out. I think I'd have to look at our official rules, but I believe, like, I don't like any mouth openings, period. Right. I'm like, it's not hard. People bump the fish all the way against the board until their mouth is closed. Take your picture. However, I think officially anything less than a quarter inch might be acceptable or whatever. Right. You got to review every club's rules on that is sometimes a little different, but, but there again, it's subjective to, it's in our rules, but it's subjective to the judge how much of an inch deduction you're going to do, or if you accept it at all. Right. That's where you get into big controversy. I can say that's
why we went to a third party judge this year. Honestly, so our entry fees went up quite a bit. We're what, $50 this year, Rocky?
$50.
And but so $2 of that goes to a third party that judges all of our fish. There's nobody in our organization that judges the fish. We're on exclusively to Tourney X. Well, there's $750 right there. Yeah. So we tried to move up to the big leagues and try to still keep it low, but remove all of the questions. Yeah. Yes, sure. We are the board that you will appeal to, but we are not the original person judging the fish.
Sure. And that's there's nothing wrong with that. It kind of goes in line with why we've randomized to certain things and all that stuff. But I personally don't feel like we need to go that route yet. Granted, we're not giving away as much money as you guys, so there's that. But we also have a good track record. Like, any of the issues that we've had with with fish, we've been able to resolve it. You know, we usually talk to the angler right there, explain to them why we're making a decision on what we're making. And I've never had anybody say, that's freaking crap. You know, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
yep, you're right. That's on me, dude. You know, like, what do you do if a guy forgets his ID, you know, but he's like, oh, but look, I can show you the GPS. The rules are you have to have the ID in the picture. I cannot accept that picture. Right.
That actually happened to me at Letra a year ago. I was taking a photo of my fish, and as I took the photo, it flipped. So it was not laying on the board. And I write my ID on my hand. I'm still old school. I write Sharpie on the back of my hand. And you can see my hand with the fish flipping. Well, I got so nervous, I wasn't paying attention, and my sweatshirt came down over my hand. Yeah. And on the official photo that I submitted, it was covered up. So Tim came to me. He's like, dude, there's no identifier. You got another fish or another photo of this fish? And I'm like, let me. And I showed him my phone. I scrolled back one photo where you can see the fish like flipped up like this with the identifier and timestamp, GPS, everything together was within 30 seconds. I was like, this is the best I can do. You're the tournament director. If you accept it, you accept it. If you don't, I get it. Because I was dumb and didn't make sure it was showing.
Yeah.
Joe, we got a question. Joe, we got a question. We got a question.
Yeah, let's move on to this next question.
Okay, yeah.
What are your thoughts of sharing information before tournaments? What's OKCKFC's stance on that?
I guess you would be talking about like angler to angler, and like, hey, I got to go fish 2 weeks ago, and I was catching them here on this kind of thing.
Yeah,
sure.
Like in Bassmaster and stuff, you know, if you share any information and they find out, you know, you can be disqualified.
Sure.
So,
if you're at the ramp and a guy's coming off the water and says, hey, right over there, see them rocks? I was throwing a chatterbait, green pumpkin. That can get you disqualified just for the guy telling you.
It could. In the Bassmasters, it would. I look at it like this, and this is just me speaking. I don't speak for the club in this respect, because I guess we probably need to have that conversation to make sure we're on board we're all on the same sheet of music with it. I don't think any of us have any issues with it one way or the other. One, we're not giving away $100,000.
True.
Okay, so
exactly.
I'm not going to be out there with a lie detector for you to win the jackpot, you know, of $300 or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
If you hear something, I mean, it's no different than, I think, because of the club, the nature of the club, you know, and the competitiveness of it. When you start factoring that into there, you do got to take into context, how big of a deal are you as a club, right?
Yeah.
And your club is has bigger payouts and bigger money. You guys are kind of creeping up there into that, you know, to that high roller range. You know what I'm saying?
What did we give away for first place at Gene? $390, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
No, I know, dude. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
But
it depends on how many people show up is how much money we give away. The more people show up, the bigger the payout.
I mean, same as us. If you want big money, then, you know, you got to get a bunch of people. Bring five anglers with you, and you just put the pot up, you know?
Yeah, so
5 guys that are worse fishermen than you, and you're good to go. That's why Modog keeps dragging me along.
I think so.
He wants to take my money.
Me and Dale both knew.
If I wouldn't have caught that one fish, he'd keep dragging me too. But
that's right.
Yeah.
If I caught that fish, he kicked me out, dude.
Me and Dale kind of knew. We're all three new at this year, and you guys have been doing it a little while, and you have that seasoned guy.
Yeah. Tom is the voice of reason. You know, like, you need that person to kind of steer us, because me and John are a little bit more willy-nilly, you know. Tom will rein us in and say, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. You know, and we respect him as the president. You have to have that. He is the president. So he does have, like, we have to take his vote into, you know, not everything is a democracy in this case. there's certain times he just puts the law down and we roll with it because we trust him. We know he's doing it out of the right heart and the right mindset, trying to do it to make it fair and equitable for all the anglers. So we don't ever really argue with him about stuff like that. But yeah, so to answer the question, sharing the information, dude, I could tell you, man, like I've been out there with Tuvu, right? If you go fish with Tuvu, and if people don't know who he is, look him up. He's got a YouTube channel, all that. He's probably one of the top 10 most famous anglers in the state as far as kayak bass fishing. You know, that's my opinion, but I mean, he's up there. People know him. I mean, you guys both know him. You know, I mean, like,
yeah. Well, I know of him. I know of him.
I fished with him at Bassmaster.
Yeah. See, so like, people know of him at a minimum, right? Literally, I was sitting there like he's loading, he's getting ready to push his kayak out off the trailer, right? And I was just messing with him, and I came over. I was like, "Oh, I got to see what Two's fishing with. You know, oh, what's the secret?" He's like, "Oh, come over." And he's like, "I'm fishing this." Like he told me everything he was fishing, you know, as far as baits. And guess what? It doesn't matter. You could throw the same. I could be right next to you two guys throwing the exact same bait at the exact same place. And something about the way Dell works the bait is a little different than me and Rocky. And Dell's the one that catches the fish.
100%.
Right? So
I cannot throw a chatterbait like Modog. I can be sitting next to him throwing the exact same chatterbait. He will catch all the fish. And I've literally sat next to him, looked over, and done exactly the same thing with the rod tip, the reel. I'm literally mimicking everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. But I throw a spinnerbait and I'll catch a fish. He throws a spinnerbait and wants to throw his entire rod and reel in the water.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for confidence too. You know, confidence baits. I go back to all
baits for sure.
Start messing with stuff you don't know, and then you go back to your confidence bait by the afternoon, and you start catching fish, and you think, "Man, I'm an idiot. Why do I do this?
Yeah.
Why do I try all this different crazy stuff instead of sticking to what I'm confident with?"
Absolutely. So I don't buy into the fact that I think maybe at the Bassmaster level, I can certainly understand it because those dudes, we're talking like, you know, you're talking ounces between $100,000 and $25,000, right, for second place or whatever.
Yeah.
And those guys are all so good that any little advantage they can get like that will probably win them the tournament, right? But I think for kayak anglers, there's so many variables. Like, you know, you could if a bass boat guy tells you, I was catching them over there. Well, what you don't know is he probably ran 4 or 5 of those points, you know, firing up the big motor and going, and you're not going to be able to make that. You got to commit.
Nah.
You know, you got to commit to roughly when I fish, I commit to 3 to 5 miles max, you know, is my range. And that's the 5 miles on the large side of that, right? You know, like I try to dial it into where I'm going to fish an area that I feel confident in fishing, that I think my styles of fishing will work, and I'm going to go to work. So you could tell me exactly where you're catching them, but if it's not my type of fishing, I'm probably not going there. You know what I mean? We got a girl that fishes with us, Paige Cornelson. I'm probably murdering her last name, but anyway, Paige she will flat out whoop you, dude. I mean, she's a great angler. But I'm telling you right now, if you have a lake that has standing timber, you're in trouble. That girl has standing timber fishing dialed in like nobody's business. I mean, she will flat out catch them.
Can we get her to go over to Canton on the northwest side and tell us if there are any bass in Canton Lake? Because I hear there's standing timber on the northwest side of Canton, and
I can promise
nobody can prove there's fish there.
I can tell you that if she was there, she would probably be fishing that area because that's the kind of fishing she likes to do, and she's just fantastic at it. I mean, we go to, you know, American Horse has some standing timber.
I know.
You go to where else? You go to Prague, lots of standing timber, right? You go to Wes Watkins, it's got standing timber. She freaking kills it on those lakes that have standing timber. Something about it. I mean, she's got a technique, got a dialed in presentation, how she likes to do it, and is very, very confident in it. You know, I get in the middle of freaking standing timber and I start going, where do I cast? There's freaking 20 trees in front of me. You know what I mean? Like, so that's not my forte. But yeah, I think information sharing is it's certainly worth taking a poll of what the anglers think about it, you know, because obviously without them, we don't even have a club. So, but I also personally, I don't think it's a big deal, man. I think it's
All right, which one of us is buffering? Is it
no,
me?
I'm sorry, my wife is asking me something because, you know, I'm like, what are you saying? She's trying to whisper.
His wife just buffered him.
I've got freaking artillery hearing, so I can't hear it.
Oh, what?
No, but even just some of the decisions we've made. Yeah, some of the decisions we've made this week on moving from Canton.
It's probably from my being in my pocket.
Yeah, some of the decisions we made this week from moving away from Canton and then deciding if we wanted to pre-fish or not, since it was only a week to go. You kind of you real quick get humbled in the fact that, all right, you know, we made a decision and affected a small group of guys. And then you kind of get some questions. Well, what about this? What about that? And it's like,
Sure.
All right, from here on out, going to back off of this and say, we're just a community. We don't need to be forcing crazy big boat rules. Probably should have let them pre-fish. Probably should have just said, hey, we are moving, but hey, this is our little community, because kayaking is more of a community than anything I've ever been a part. And just back up and say, guys, you know, we've done our best to get rid of the judging problems and stuff, but we're just going to back off. We're a community. If you're the kind of guy that's going to go out there and pre-fish the hell out of that thing, great, you got the time and stuff. But just like you said, hey, man, it's just fun getting together on a Saturday and throwing lures with these guys and a little competitive. And it's like, just back off, you know, just trying to quit fine-tuning it and let it work itself out and just have fun. And
Sure.
Here we go. So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
We've been here an hour and a half, so I think we actually need to wrap up, honestly.
Yeah, we need to have Joe back, maybe even Tom.
Yeah, apparently we're going to need to have you back. But as far as the information goes, once this starts flowing, and I've told the founder of Horns Down, they're like, well, when do you guys start cooking out? I was like, people get off the lake pre-fishing about 5. We start pouring the horns down, and the lies start about 6.
Yeah.
So if you want to find out what pre-fishing was like, the lies will start about 6 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll leave you guys with this though. Last thought on the rules and the information. Dude, you can have as much information as you want. You can pre-fish as much as you want. We seek an active animal that changes its behavior moment to moment. So I've gone out to pre-fish thinking, man, I'm going to tear it up because I killed it on pre-fishing, and the fish weren't where they were at. You know what I mean? So I think, you know, you could what if things to death in all seriousness. I think that the anglers that are part of your guys' club, just like the anglers that are part of our club, need to keep in mind that we're managing the tournaments to try to make it a good thing for all the anglers and for fun. You know, it's not about the money. It's not about the payouts. You know, we do have rules. We do have this to make it official and make tournaments flow smoothly and all that stuff. But don't take yourself too seriously on our tournaments, man. Just go out and have fun. The guys that go out and have fun, they win.
Amen.
The guys that wrap themselves around the axle about, you know, trying to be perfect on the water, this, that, the other day, they're the ones that skunk, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've skunked and had more fun.
Yeah.
I've actually had more content getting skunked or catching catfish than I have catching 4 or 5 fish. I've better videos because I get to yell at Modon for all the catfish that I catch.
Yeah, dude, that day we were on the water on Humphreys, man, I had a blast hanging out with you guys. That's why I beelined it over to you guys, because I was like, you know what? I'm not catching anything anyway. I'm going to go see. I could hear you guys chattering.
Yes,
dude,
you
across the
could.
water, and I was like, I'm gonna go get part. I'm gonna go get in on this. So
Because Modog was probably yelling at everybody going by.
Yeah.
And,
Throwing down a little bit of
And then-
Jeff Weisboro, you sandbagging son of a bitch.
well, and then last year, was it Humphreys that Modog skunked at and was yelling at everybody that walked up that caught one fish? And
Yeah, well, the wind was just horrendous.
oh yeah,
last
and
year.
it was.
Well, if you want a good laugh, Rocky, I know Dell's already seen this, but if you want a good laugh, go over to Carney Man Fishing on my YouTube page and watch the video Kicked Out of the Circle, and you can watch how it all went down, kind of, and then you can see where I'm talking smack to Modog at the end of it because he's like, "Don't be going around telling people that you beat me, blah blah blah," you know. And I was like, I think you just did. I'm on camera, man. You're on camera, man. So anyway, yeah, no. Hey, thanks for having me on, guys. I really
No, it's been great, man. It's been
Rocky,
great.
Great to meet you, Rocky. I look forward to meeting you in person. And
so there's
I'm definitely gonna be
there's the Carney Man YouTube channel right there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a small time operation, so I don't know how many videos I got on there.
But wait, now I got to see how many. Okay, yeah, you're good. You've only got 54 subscribers. So you know what? You need to get into Modog's Live tomorrow night.
Yeah.
So you can
go lose 6 important hours of your life at Modog Live.
6 hours is not wrong. You're not wrong, dude. I've been in the Modog podcast. They go on. It's good stuff, though. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So yeah, we're definitely. I mean, there's so many topics that we could keep talking about, but normally I try to keep these at an hour, but I feel like we could go another 3, and I do have work tomorrow.
Sure.
And so yeah, we're gonna call it a night. And thank you so much. Next time, you know what? We may just have to get you, Tom, Big Mike. You know, we'll just make it a big party. And
you'd be amazed. Now that one, you're gonna need to jog out some time because you're going to want to pick their brains. I promise you that.
So yeah, thank you so much for coming on. You guys that are watching, listening, definitely check out OKCKFC.
Yep.
Not Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kayak Fishing Club. They got a Facebook group. I should probably go post that too. But yeah, great people. Like I said, very first tournament I ever fished was with them. Kayak Fishing Club. There we go. You know what? I just remembered. I'm still an admin on that page. You guys might want to get rid of me. It goes back to so there's the OKC page. It goes back to when we did the Bass and Bagels at OKC Kayak.
Yep.
Tom made me an admin so I could try to go live so we could broadcast the Bass and Bagels. So yeah, there you go. Go check them out. If you're in the OKC area, definitely go fish with them.
It's going to be
definitely worth it.
It's going to be a super fun season. I think it's going to add a nice element of a surprise to everybody and kind of some vibe to it, you know, because it's going to get some build up because you don't know what lake we're picking that week, you know. None of us.
So are you announcing on Friday night before the following Saturday, or are you giving like a 7-day period with a weekend for people to pre-fish this?
We're shooting for 7 days. So if it's a Tuesday night, then we're going to try to do the announcement the Tuesday prior. If it's a Thursday night, Thursday prior, and then Saturday, Saturday prior or anytime really during, you know. So we're trying for 7 days. We'll see how that works. We haven't done it yet. So we don't know if it's.
When's your first event? When is your first event?
April 4th. Let me double check that.
April 4th.
Yep. So it's Saturday, April 4th. So we're kicking off with a Saturday one. Let's see here.
Well, let us know if the wheel lands on Letra. Is Letra even on the wheel?
Letra is on our. So we have 2 wheels. If you go on and look at our March 1st post that Jonathan Noah Queen put on there, you'll see literally the 2 wheels that we designed. We have the Jackpot Lake Picker, which the Jackpots are our weeknight ones, and those are all within 60 miles of downtown Oakland City, right? 60
Okay.
miles, or we try to stay around an hour most on those.
Right.
60 miles or an hour roughly. And then for our Saturday tournaments, right, we've got more options. Some of them cross both lines because they're just great lakes. But the Saturday ones, yeah, there's Letcher's on there. Elmer Thomas is on there. That is Lettra. What else do we got down y'all? We've got a Duncan Roadrunner down on there. We got Gene Newstat's on there for Saturday tournament. Wichita Mountain Roadrunner, we love to do those. So we got Arbuckle down there. We got, Wiley Post is on our list this year. So we've got quite a few. I always try to give them a couple extra new names, new lakes, do some research on it. And we try to change it up a little bit. We're like you guys. We got our standard ones. Like Shawnee Twins is always on our list. I mean, we love that. It's just a great venue. Guthrie Liberty is always on our list. It's a great venue.
You got to get Big Mike his home lake at least once a year.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's why we keep him involved, is because we pretty much throw the tournament to him every year. We don't want him to feel sad. So, just because it's his home lake and stuff, we make sure that he wins or does really well.
All right, Tim Vaughn, this weekend's for you, buddy.
Yeah. Tim's a good deal. Because Tim used to be or is he still part of the directors on y'all's club? Or
he is not. This year, he turned it over to me, Rocky, and Dan, and it really was to spend more time with his family. He is still absolutely fishing with us. He's just wanting to spend more time with his family, less time with all the tournament director and that kind of stuff. So,
Tim's a good dude, and he's got a brother, right? What's his brother's name?
Yep, Andrew.
Yeah, I met both of those guys. Those are great, fantastic dudes. In fact, Tim.
If you meet Andrew now in his official capacity, just start reaching for your wallet, get your driver's license, get your fishing license, and make sure your kayak's registered if you got a motor, because that's why he's checking to you. He is a game warden. Right?
Yeah, that's
right. Yeah, he hadn't fished with us since, but yeah. All right, Joe, we can sit here all night. We got to wrap this up.
All right, brother. Hey, sorry for the long-windedness.
Heck no, we enjoy it. This is wonderful.
Are you kidding me? By looking at the number up here, we have lost 0 viewers in the last hour and 42 minutes.
Nice.
We have not lost anybody.
That's good. Yeah.
So,
thank you everybody for tuning in, and I really appreciate the invite, and hopefully I don't get fired after this, because Jonathan and Tom, they'll probably be like, "Look, man."
Well,
they'll probably give me.
Let me tell you this: I actually reached out to Tom first, knowing that he wasn't available on Wednesday.
Sure.
But I did get with him first, and then, or did I reach out to you? One of the two. I ended up talking to both of you, and his response was, "Get with Joe or Jonathan."
Yeah.
And I already knew you, so
I'll tell you right now, we're going to have you back on.
Hey, you guys let me know, man. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, so I'd love to come on.
All right,
we can talk some fisheries science and stuff, because I'm a quasi fishery biologist, citizen fisheries biologist, I call myself.
There you go.
All right. With that, we're going to call it a night. Thank you all for watching with us tonight. We will see you on the next episode of Red Dirt Yakkin, presented by Horns Down, Apple Pie, and Vodka and Fine Spirits, Woodworks Distillery. Come out and see us this Friday night. Get with Rocky on the location, Fort Cobb Lake. We'll have a great time. See you all later.
Thanks, Carney, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Take care.